It's dead.
Juliana, I know you have your little bit late. I want you to pay attention while you're eating, and then the second you get done, quietly go get on and then get your writing. Okay? All right. Nice job. Quickly wait for maybe a couple of people. No, we are not making. Oh, I think so. We're not making comic books. We're not making comic books. It would be fun, but that's not what we're doing. There might be an opportunity later in the year to do a comic book. I'm not sure. I don't know. I know that you're going to write a nonfiction piece, so.
Could be realistic.
We're not writing comics. Because we are focusing on our words and our transitions.
Comics have words.
Yep, but comics, they rely a lot on their pictures to show us things, don't they? Comics have very little words, and they rely on the pictures to add the detail and create the story in our head. It does make it fun, but we're practicing our writing skills, because in 4th grade we really need to practice our writing skills. We need to be able to write for a really long time. That's not writing though. It's drawing lines. You could write a novel if you wanted to, but we're going to focus today. Let's look at our focus. It says we'll continue working on our drafts and develop strong endings. And I want to talk about endings for a minute. Yesterday we talked a lot about, or was it yesterday or Monday? It was Monday. We talked a lot about beginnings and those really strong leads. Endings are just as important as beginnings because it's the last thing that your reader leaves. It's kind of the last little taste of your story that they get left with in their mouth. It's kind of like the dessert of a meal. And you want that to be really strong and really good. I think a lot of times we have, in kids writing, when students write, you've been writing for so long and you're kind of bored with the story and you just want to say the end. You just want to end it. How many of your stories just kind of end like that? Few of us? I kind of want to talk, we're going to talk about how can we make our stories have really, really good, strong endings so that a reader wants to read more of our work and that a reader's left with no question. So kind of like what I did with the beginnings, I went through my library and I found a bunch of different books that I think some of you have read. And we're going to take a look at some of the endings. Let's see. Helps if I turn it on, doesn't it? I'm just going to turn off one light. I don't think it's that sunny. Thank you though, Tiana. Let's see what happens. It's coming out.
I can't see it.
There we go. Yes. Did I hear somebody say my name? It'll get darker. The eraser? Is it really bugging you? All right. This is because I have to turn this into the state. Remember how we're talking about all of the stuff that I have to turn in to get my teaching license? Something that I have to turn in. So we kind of talked a little bit about it being just as important, and we want to leave that. We don't want to leave our. We don't want our reader to be left with that. What? Ending. We really want them to really pop. So I think a lot of your stories might have the end ending. Then what? One got a new bike. The end. Some of your stories end like that?
No.
Oh, some of you raised your hand.
What about this?
Yep, see there's a the end. How did I get here? The end. Maybe I hope you like my story.
Yeah.
But it was just another day and I had to go to school. Well, that's all I have to say. I hope you liked my story. How many of your stories end up like that? A couple of stories end like that? Or a yeah. Or this is another one that I think some students do. I was just about to, but then I woke up and realized I was just having a dream. Anybody's end like that? Oh, you've got one that ends like that too? So we really wanted to talk about our endings and how can we make them even better. So a good ending leaves the reader satisfied. And they want to know more. They want to know more of what kind of writing you can do. They want to know, maybe you're going to write a chapter or another book, Isaiah, that follows your character. A second book. And if you do, they want to know what's going to happen to Dustin in that second book. They want to know all of this. And that's what we're going to work on today. So, this is kind of what I talked about, that sometimes you get tired and you just end it. So these are some different ways that you can end your story. You can end it with a question, just like we began our story with a question. Okay.
I didn't end mine, I just didn't have enough space. Yeah, me too.
We'll get there.
Yeah, me too.
We'll get there in your draft. So just like we started our story with a question, we can end it with a question. So has anyone read this book, A Time of Wonder? Oh, I'm not doing so good, as good today. So this one is kind of hard to read, but it says, a little bit sad about the place that you were leaving, a little bit glad about the place you were going. It's a time of quiet wonder, for wondering, for instance, where do hummingbirds go in a hurricane? So this story ends with a question. It leaves us wondering a little bit, but the story is wrapped up, and it gives us a question to think about so that we might want to keep going and read another story of theirs. You can end your story with an insight from a character. So, how about this one? Anyone read Best Friends?
No, I saw it.
A couple of people have read Best Friends. So this one, it ends with a letter, a couple of girls that are friends, and a lot of stuff happens, and you would think that they might not become or stay friends. It ends with a letter, but at the very end it says, for the first time in my life, I understood how deep the roots of friendship could grow. Lily would be in my heart, too. So this is an insight. The character is thinking about it. It's something that's coming from her heart, and it's something from inside of her. It's something that she feels. Eunice.
Do you think pictures were good?
I scanned them in my computer.
Oh.
So you can also end your story with action. Not action like a big fight, because if we ended it with a big fight, the reader might be wanting to know, well, what happens at the end of the fight? Why was the fight there?
Yes.
But what I mean by
Then
action,
we have to read the second book.
They could.
Suspense.
how about this one, So Far From the Sea? A few people have read that one. This one ends with, the two ends of the neckerchief had come loose and flutter free. I can see the top of the tree root. It looks like a boat with the sails skimming in the wind, heading away from the unhappy place. A boat moving on. So there's an action. There's something is taking place. A boat, something looks like something, and the boat is moving on. Same talking guy. Remember how we had a talking lead? You can have a talking ending. How about this one?
Nope, never.
William Steig is the same, or is it Steig or
I
Steig?
would say Steve.
Okay. William Steig, same guy that wrote The Brave Irene.
It's thick.
Brave Irene. He wrote the same guy that wrote this. This is a fun book, but this ends with talking or dialogue. Where are we? His father asked. In the Zabba Jabba jungle. How do we get out? Follow me, says Leopard.
I want to read the other one.
That's the ending.
That was a new question.
But I bet if you read the whole book, you wouldn't be left with questions. You just read the ending sometimes. So, in this, I was kind of talking